Nikola Jokic is once again having an MVP level season. He's currently averaging 25, 10, and 10 for the season, shooting a historic 68.7% true shooting. His offensive rating is 135, which is just historic. Once again, he's dominating the advanced stats as he leads the league in offensive win shares, box plus minus, defensive box plus minus, third in assist percentage, and second in PER. And he's doing this while not even being ranked top 20 in usage rating. If we're going off of the NBA's definition of what an MVP is, which is the best player on the best team, Jokic is the epitome of that. Denver is currently sitting at the top of the Western Conference at a record of 24-13. Nuggets also currently have the second best offense in the league with 117 offensive rating, and they nearly lead the league in assists with 28 a game. And Jokic is a huge part of why that offense is so successful. Every single player on that Nuggets team uses Jokic's great screening ability, his great passing ability, and his overall gravity to help move around the floor, keep the offense complex, and help Jokic stuff the stat sheet. But if we're looking at Jokic's MVP case, it's pretty clear cut. His team is good, he's putting up amazing stats. What more could you really want out of him? But you see, the problem is the media. The media was fine with letting Jokic get one MVP. In 2021, when Jokic won the MVP, I don't think anyone had a real problem with it, other than like Sixers fans, of course, who wanted Embiid to win. But other than that, everyone was pretty much fine with Jokic winning it. I think when Jokic won his second MVP, that's when the narrative pushing and the anti-agenda for Jokic started. Because if you remember last season, the reason why Jokic won MVP was because he took an injury-riddled Denver Nuggets team and took them to 48 wins, nearing the top of the Western Conference. And I'm not saying nobody else last season had a good case. Embiid had a good case, Giannis had a good case. Hell, I would even argue Devin Booker had a case. But Jokic fit the criteria best last season, so he won it. And this season, the same thing is happening again. I mean, granted, there's like 6 players that could realistically win MVP, which has led to the media having this anyone but you attitude towards Jokic. Let's say the Nuggets end up winning 55 plus games, because realistically they're on pace to win somewhere around that ballpark, and they end up with a number 1 seed this year, right? If Jokic is sustaining the numbers that he's putting up right now, barring injury, while also continuing to have a great impact on his team, because the only player that has the same amount of impact that Jokic has is Giannis, and that's mainly because his 2 co-stars are routinely out, and people are going to make the argument that Jokic's stats were inflated because he was playing with basically nobody else. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were out with injuries, but those people fail to realize that Jokic is pretty much maintaining the same numbers he had last year with both of those guys back in the lineup. Yeah, his scoring numbers have dipped a little bit, but his assist numbers are going up, and it's not a drastic difference. And if you look at some of these performances that Jokic has put up, 39, 10, and 9 against OKC in a win, 43, 14, and 8 in a win against Washington, 40, 27, and 10 in a win against Charlotte, 41, 15, and 15 on Christmas Day against Phoenix, 47 and 6 in a loss against Sacramento, and 30, 12, and 12 against the Celtics, which was a huge win that everyone was talking about. Like I said before, Jokic is ticking all of the boxes for what an MVP is. His team's winning, he's putting up historic numbers, he's dominating advanced stats, he has a great impact to his team, but these are things that the media just conveniently likes to ignore. And in my opinion, there's 2 reasons why the media is so biased against Jokic. A, I just think that they don't find his game as visually appealing as some of these other guys. And don't get me wrong, Jokic is one of the most entertaining players to watch. He's so gifted offensively, whether it's his scoring, his passing, his offensive rebounding, you name it. But I just don't think that the people who are voting for MVP don't find his game as visually appealing as a guy like Jason Tatum or Ja Morant, or even a guy like Kevin Durant. Meanwhile, hardcore NBA fans, they love watching Jokic play. They love seeing what he can do on the floor. And the second thing is just, I think we are getting way used to Jokic just dominating, because he's been playing MVP level basketball since around 2019, 2020. I think that's where Jokic's MVP level of play started. And we've just got used to it. He's doing things that haven't been done in decades, breaking insane records while also doing things that have never been done in NBA history. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's the first center to ever average a triple-double with assists. So that just strengthens his argument even more. And to answer the question in the title, I think Jokic is definitely able to make history. I think it's possible, but with some of these obstacles they have stacked against him, it's very unlikely in my opinion. The MVP race is just way too stacked right now. There are way too many guys putting up amazing performances, putting up crazy averages, and most of these guys are on winning teams, by the way. There's just way too many guys out here that are doing these crazy things. Meanwhile, a lot of what Jokic is doing is going under the radar. And some people might think that, Jokic is able to sustain this level of play for longer, which I definitely think he can do because he did it last season and the season before. But that's an awfully high standard to hold a guy like Jokic. But like I said before, it's definitely possible for Jokic to end up winning his 3rd straight MVP. And he'll be making even more history as he'll be the first player to win 3 straight MVPs since Larry Bird, which is something that I would love to see. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you like videos like this and you want to see more of them, make sure to subscribe. I'll have more videos on the way soon. Also, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know who you think the MVP is, things of that nature. And I'm out. Peace.